welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game. Let's say it was, I think it came out just the tail end of 2018, but we got it just at the beginning of 2019, and it's 1918 Death on the Rails, which is a very evocative title. It's by 2d6.EE games. And this was put out for the 100th anniversary of 1918, so it came out last year. And what this game is, this is a block war game depicting the Estonian struggle against Bolshevik Russia in 1918. As communism was spreading, this is kind of Estonian resistance against that. And they made a block war game to kind of celebrate that. It's a two-player game. It plays in 1 to 2 hours. Now, we played a prototype of this, and I don't think it took that long. This is a really interesting system, and I'll show you why here in a second. There's actually a decent amount in this box. So it is a block war game, red and blue blocks. And you get a sheet of stickers. One would presume that there is more somewhere, but the stickers are very simple. There's very little to confuse them on. You got your little men, you have some cannons, and I want to say there were machine guns somewhere. I guess that's built into them. So you have these little 2 wonders, and these are kind of like heavy trained infantry, is what it is. These are Russian and Estonian. It's just the one sheet. Looks like there's more counters than that, but maybe not. And you have these blank ones. These are like total bluffs. Literally you'll have bluff blocks, which you're like, these are units, I swear. And then they're not. So there's just some neat stuff in there for that. Oh, that's cool that they did this. Okay, so before we go any further, we played a prototype copy of this game last year. So you can actually go and watch the review of that. This is a very introductory level war game. The rules are not complex. It uses a card-driven system. Somewhat similar. Alright. Basically, you're playing cards for the values, and that's units that you can activate how, when, and where, basically. These cards turned out really nice. It's got the same artwork on the front. But yeah, they've got cool artwork on it. But it's, again, very simple. There's nothing complex about this game from that standpoint. A little marker here for victory points, one way or the other. This is an indication this is a bag of dice game. So you got a ton of wooden dice with it. You'll be chucking a bunch of dice based on, how much firepower you're levying from your units. And this is something which I didn't know. This is really cool. There's a little... So in this game, it's called Death on the Rails. Well, a lot of them, you literally have a train in it. Oh, am I putting this on right? That's so cool. They actually made a little cobbled together train. Choo-choo. That stands up. That's pretty neat. Because we played prototype copy with just like some markers like, this is where the train is. So that's really cool that they did that. Now that's interesting. Okay. The rule book is actually too big for the box. There's like a cardboard insert in here, which I'm going to take out. But you can see the rule book's kind of bent up at one end because it's too big for that little insert inside. You take this insert out, and that's going to fit in perfectly. So that's interesting. Little play aid on the back. Just kind of a turn sequence, some fire modifiers and bits and pieces how to do that. History. Historical notes, scenarios. So that's it. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of rules. Not a complex game. This is a really easy one to learn, really easy one to teach, but has some really interesting tactical decisions. And I say that because of the maps. And we'll take a look at these. These are geomorphic maps. Yeah, this thing. I guess they put that in for support for during transport. We're going to get rid of it. So if I put this in, this fits in perfectly. Interesting. Alright, these maps. might just look like normal mat boards. So these are both double-sided. So you're getting a lot of different mat types. Here's your railroad. That's where your train goes on. And some of the scenarios have like trains and have like a cannon on it, and you can shoot from the train, and it's awesome. And a lot of, and we played scenarios where it's you're trying to escape the Russians. They're charging on one side of the board, and you have to like run, try and find some civilians who you're trying to rescue and get them onto the train. Just so cool. There's a lot of cool stuff in this. So there's 4 boards, again, each double-sided, and they are, you can put them together. They're geomorphic. That's where, if you look, I'm pretty sure this. Maybe I lied. Maybe they're not. It looks like these are all individual. I swear we put a couple together. Okay, good. It's true. 1, 2, 3. There's a couple scenarios where you do stick some together, but a lot of the time you're playing on one board. And it looks at first glance, oh, it's a hex encounter game. This is not. It's a block war game. But if you look at the hexes, they're not actual hexes. They're hex-based shaped areas. So when you move, you don't move from hex to hex. This is a single area. And you can move from this area to this area, or from this one to this one if you've got the movement to get... So it's a very close board, because you can move a decent amount. But what these spaces do, apart from dictate kind of where terrain is and where it's not, look at this building, right? This is a 4-area building. The stacking limit in here is 4. This is a little 1 building, stack limit of 1. So you put a guy in here, and if he gets attacked, 1 guy gets attacked. If this building gets attacked and it's full, everyone in here gets attacked. And so it's really easy to be like, get my guys in cover. Well, it's easy for them to be targeted that way. So you want to kind of spread guys out. Movement's really important. And the way they balance this is fascinating at times. Because, you know, you're like, oh, I'm so close to getting across here, but, you know, everything's close. But at times you're just not close enough because of the amount of spaces and not hexes. Again, these are 2 hexes. This is 1 hex. Again, it's really cool, some of the puzzly nature of how do I get to where I'm trying to go and minimize losses. And that's the thing. This game is short and bloody. Like that hour to 2 hours, you're not going to play that long. The game moves at a really good clip. And what I liked about it is that it wasn't 2 hours long. Maybe for some of those longer scenarios, you could play it for an hour. But it's so quick. You chuck a bunch of dice. Guys is dying left, right, and center, moving them around. The boards aren't huge. It was a quick and dirty game. And that's why it makes a really good introductory block war game for that reason. You do get a good history lesson out of it. I frankly knew nothing about the Estonian fight against communism. And they talk about, because it was the liberal students who put up some defense at times, and they're untrained, unarmed, and they're fighting against, you know, heavily regimented Russian soldiers at times, and it's entirely outmatched. But you're not necessarily trying to fight, and when in combat, you're trying to achieve another objective and run away. And so you get some cool tactical aspects in this in a game that is a non-standard hex game, which again presents us seasoned war gamers with something a little bit new, but a cool game on a cool topic, and a great way to teach new people about something new, and maybe learn something from history about yourself as well. So, appreciate you guys tuning in, because this has been 1918 Death on the Rails from 2d6.EE Games. It's available on their website. It is an Estonian company, I believe. So you do have to, you pay in the shipping to the US. It's a lot, but the game's available right now, and you can pick it up. It's another block war game that plays well. This is a neat little component. Just having an actual train. We had like some little counters to mark out where the train was. So that's neat that they kind of did that. She's not the prettiest component in the whole world, but she's cool. But this is it. This is 1918 Death on the Rails. And I appreciate you guys tuning in.